Sun rays peeked through the curtains. It was the start of a happy day. Happy stomach, healthy eyes, and a smile on her lips. Vine woke up feeling warm as ever. She never knew she was this lonely in this universe, that a stranger's two words of care affected her this much. She grabbed her phone, the first thing to see Jungkook's number, not to call him, but to make sure she still remembered it. However, the smile fell off her face, the anxiety coming back with full force, and her color drained. A text message from the owner of the pub where she worked informing her she was fired and didn't have to come back to work. Vine stood up and worn a proper shirt and rushed out, running to the pub all the way, which took her 15 minutes, that usually take 30 by walk. She went in, begged to let her in, and give her another chance. Got insulted, she didn't care. She had been looking for more jobs since 2 months and didn't find any. There was no way she could avoid loan sharks without this job. Yet nothing worked. Instead, the owner told her that she also informed the loan sharks that she kicked Vine out because she didn't want to get in any trouble later on. Vine was scared, shivering. She had nowhere else to run to, so she went back home and locked the doors. They could barge in like they did before. She hugged herself, pushing herself against the corner. The police wouldn't help. She lost her job. She couldn't pay them anymore. They would hurt her, torture her, kill her, or maybe sell her off. She cried, thinking about all the possibilities. Her blood pressure fell, and the bell in her head rang. Jungkook? Could she call him? Was it okay? Why else would he leave his number? She grabbed the phone with shaky hands and instantly dialed his number without thinking twice. Jungkook, hello? The deep and rich voice reached her ears. She was safe. Wine, Jungkook, please save me. I'm scared. They will kill me. She panic talked and screamed when the front door started to bang. The phone fell off her hand, yet the call didn't disconnect. They were here, and like a little scared child, she hid herself in a closet. She was just a college student. Why did she have to face this adult trouble at this age all alone? The banging grew louder and louder before it stopped. Did they break the door? There was no sound anymore. Did they leave? What if it was a calm before the storm? All kind of thoughts ran across her head. Are you in there? She heard a calm, soft, deep, velvety, rich voice. It was too peaceful and masculine. She could sleep listening to that sound. It belonged to Jungkook. Jungkook, they're gone. You can come out now, he said, His voice sounded so close, as if he was standing in front of the cupboard, fully aware she was in there. Yet he didn't open it without her permission. Wine took her time. He remained patient. She wiped her tears and took a few deep breaths, but her shivering won't ever go away. Once she opened the door and stepped out, she lost her balance and fell. He held her. He was warm and powerful, a touch like a lover's hold. She didn't know she lost all her energy and ability to balance on her feet. Jungkook brought her to bed and sat her down. He sat beside her while she stayed in his arms, not ready to move away. Pale skin, shivering body, and unfocused eyes. He noticed it all. Was her cold getting better, or was he burning? Because she clearly noticed her temperature rising. Jungkook, they won't return. Ever. Why? There are too many. She believed him regardless of impossibility of the situation. He held her cheeks, lifted her face to meet her scared eyes. Jungkook, who are they? That's when she got quiet. She couldn't tell him. She didn't want to pull him in her mess, even though she called him today out of fear. Wine, I'll make you some tea. She stood up, immediately getting out of his hold. A cold bucket of water splashed over her as realization. What was she even doing with a stranger? Jungkook, sit. I'll make it. He stood up instead and walked over to kitchen. Surely her home was quite small, yet as a person who entered for the first time, she at least expected him to look around once. But he walked straight to kitchen as if he has been here before. Fine. How did you know it was there? Jungkook, it only takes a few things to know the architecture of any place. Wine. Who are you? An architect or a doctor? Or a psychologist? Wine. How can you guess everything based on a few points? Maybe you eat humans and their powers. Maybe you ate a psychologist and an architect. She followed him to the kitchen. Jungkook. Next is you. So, miss, what are you good at? He placed his hands on the counter and leaned forward, meeting her eyes. Sleeves rolled up. He had no business looking that good. Wine. What? She said, flustered. Jungkook, I should know the talents you have before consuming now. If he was joking, he needed to learn a joke is done while laughing, not looking that serious. Wine. Nothing. Nothing at all. She quietly took a seat while he went through drawers, got the things he needed, and started to make tea. Wine. Those people were here. Where did they go? Jungkook. I called the cops. They are behind the bars. She was grateful for that, but how unfair was it? She called them too, yet, knowing her life was in danger, they left her unattended in this cruel world. It was unjust and painful. Jungkook noticed her distress. Jungkook, the world never listens to you. Wine. It listened to you. You seem like the kind of person who can change everything by a flicker of his finger. Everyone is not the same. Everyone doesn't have that luck. Her voice was slightly bitter and hurtful. Jungkook left the work midway and walked up to her, held her chin with his fingers, and looked in her eyes. Jungkook, everyone is not born powerful. It only takes all these sacrifices for someone to be at this point. You're no different. Neither was I. She looked deep in her eyes. Did he went through pain and suffering too? His hand softly caressed her cheek, and she melted under his touch. Wine, I'm sorry. Jungkook, do you want some magic in your life? She nodded, and he extended the cup of tea he made. Wine, that's magic. He shrugged. She took it, made an impressed yet suspicious face, and took a sip. The rich, warm taste entered her system, and she lost into it. Someone made it for her. She had someone in front of her eyes, someone to finally talk to. It was true magic. Jungkook sipped his own tea as he leaned back against the counter. He had found her interesting. His heart beat crazily around her. He found this immense desire to protect her. He had burned the world for her. He never lied to her except for the fact he never called the cops to handle those loan sharks. To be continued.